Hello, 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 John Mason. How is everybody? I'll start off, of course, by bidding everyone a happy and prosperous new year. Okay, it's been 10 months since Putin had a bright idea to declare war on a nation that was doing him no harm, Ukraine. And what was the motive to put hundreds of thousands of young men in his country in harm's way? To appease his dreams of empire, to be the new czar, and no other reason. Ukraine was no threat to Russia, and 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 a war was uncalled for. And Putin just thought his troops are just going to roll into Kiev, capture uh, Zelensky and the rest of the Ukrainian government, and take over. It didn't work like that. He didn't think that the Ukrainians would resist and defend their country. It's an old story in history. To an imperial power uh, thinks that they can just ram into another country and before dinner time take it over. That's what happened in the First World War. The two sets of imperial powers had the idea that they were just going to roll into the enemy country's capital and beat them. Kaiser Wilhelm II, before the war with France, said to his troops, "Boys, you'll be home before the leaves fall from the trees." And the Russian officers were debating with themselves whether or not to bring their dress uniforms for the victorious parade down the streets of Berlin. And they thought it was just going to be a quickie. Nope. It was a war that lasted 4 years. At the end of, and there was some passive aggressive resistance among the troops. But the leaders, if you can call them that, of the two sets of imperial powers, they couldn't bring themselves to stop the war. They thought that their peoples would just passively go along with what their leaders ordered them to do. And the result was, after 4 years, 4 imperial dynasties, the Hohenzollern, the Romanovs, the Habsburgs, the Ottomans, lost their thrones. An entirely new system of government emerged in Russia, and Germany went through a period of total chaos and sky-high inflation. And it's like I said, it's an old story. And we have to be careful about these prognostications that emerge from establishment sources. Like last year, about this time, the commercial news media had the idea that the Republicans were going to stage this red tsunami and take the House and the Senate and state level offices. Turns out wasn't all that much of a tsunami. Maybe getting our feet wet, but not a tsunami. People knew what the stakes were in this election. The danger of a maniacal ignoramus of a former president whose name shall not be announced, except in infamy. The incitement and encouragement of the most blatantly fascistic elements in our politics, such as the goons and thugs terrorizing school boards and libraries, about having books that deal seriously with LGBTQ issues and with racial issues. By the way, the boogeyman that freaked out these maniacs was called critical race theory. And as I have said for the millionth time, critical race theory is a body of thought taught in law schools that discusses how racism, instead of being this little glitch in the system, is deeply embedded in the system. It permeates every aspect of our society. The educational system, the medical system, the military, the police, law enforcement, you name it. It is not and never has been a body of thought taught to pre-K kids. But try to convince these maniacs that. And they felt they had the right. They thought to terrorize libraries and other institutions like theaters and clubs hosting drag events like a drag queen story time and drag brunch. And they thought they could get away with it. And maybe they can. There has been too much, I must say it, too much indulgence in terrorism and extremism on the right. Law enforcement is very tolerant of a Klan rally, but comes down hard on say a bookstore selling material that makes them uncomfortable. This is not to disparage people in law enforcement. I have a lot of good friends in law enforcement. But it's not about individuals. It's about what's baked into the system, as critical race theory explains. Playtime is over. The kid gloves are off, and we have to come down hard on them. And it certainly would help if finally Donnie What's-His-Face is formally indicted by DOJ and is made to pay for his crimes. And I know I've veered off course a little, but let me get back on course. The news media had this idea that just because uh, the opposition party regains the control of the House and Senate in previous times, it's going to gain it in the future. And but another galvanizing event was Dobbs' decision that that would eliminate Roe v. Wade, and women, uh, fearing their loss of control of their bodies, took to the streets, like when Samuel Alito opened up his big yap and announced uh, that this Dobbs decision was going down. I I I took part in the rally in Philadelphia City Hall to protest, and let's keep the heat from the street up. And Clarence Thomas, that judicial giant, uh, opened his yap even more to announce that other Supreme Court decisions that were beneficial to the people were on the chopping block, such as the Obergefell decision that would allow same-sex marriage, and also Brown versus Board of Education. The Supreme Court is apparently not a democratic institution, and they're one institution that is taking the lead in a great slide backwards to pre-50s, where racial discrimination was the law of the land, men's control of women's bodies were the law of the land, the closet was the only place for LGBTQ plus people. And they didn't think we would fight back. But there's plenty of fight back. The Democrats held control of the Senate, and the huge takeover of the House was just a few individuals. And there's this far right bloc that is absolutely refusing to seat Kevin McCarthy as House Speaker. What kind of leadership can he provide? McCarthy is pledging to this far right element the sun, the moon, the stars to attain the speakership. And a little while after condemning Trump for his responsibility, all too real, in instigating the January 6th riot, he goes to Mar-a-Lago and kisses his royal orange ass. And that is supposed to be a leader? That is no kind of leadership. Man has no respect or pride in himself, no respect for the law, no respect for the institution, no respect for his country. And there's a part of me that says, ooh, let's watch them kill each other. That'll be fun. But the business of the people has to take place. Laws have to be passed. Committees have to be organized. But these way to the right maniacs, they don't care. They're all about nihilism, destruction. And, and so that leaves it up to us, the American people. We have to keep constantly demanding that our rights be respected, that our elected officials hold themselves accountable. Unlike George Santos, who doesn't even know whether or not when his mother died, who doesn't even know his religion, who makes up an educational resume, and that's supposed to be the future of the Republican Party. Okay, then. That's what we're up against. As last year showed, we're up to the challenge. We beat them once, we'll beat them again. Okay, that's it for now. And now advertisements. Hemperific is a lovely little CBD product store located on Snyder Avenue near 15th in South Philadelphia. There you will find some of the finest cannabis-infused products. Flower and gummies and teas and candies and lip balm, hand sanitizer, and dog treats. Look them up, please. HemperificLLC.com. And now, I talk up my beloved career and business coach, Michelle Snow. Michelle is excellent in helping you develop your professional career and your small business. Let you know what you're doing right, where you need work, and help you network with other up-and-coming professionals and small business people. Look her up, please. growwithsnow.com. Okay, the fight's on. Let's get ready to rumble for our rights and the future of our children. Take care. Happy New Year. Bye.